Today we're going to talk about going green. And when I think about going green, I think about three things. I think about organic building and design materials, which is great for the environment. I think about organic food, which is great for the body, and the color green, which is great for the soul. Today we're in downtown Summit at the local farmers market where consumers come to buy organic fruits and vegetables. And then we're going to take a ride to Paolo's kitchen where he's going to use these organic vegetables and make us one of his signature dishes. A taste for design incorporates food, wine, and home design. Traveling throughout New Jersey, visiting local businesses to bring you tastes of inspiration. Paula Vieira and her husband Paolo are the owners of Paolo's Kitchen in New Providence. Now, Paolo has been a chef for many years. He's worked with some famous chefs. He's even cooked for Frank Sinatra. And now he's got his own place. Now, it's not a sit-down restaurant. It's a place where you pick up food to go, or they actually bring the food to your house and will deliver it right to your door. So since he specializes in the home cooking, we're going to take a ride to Paolo's home where we're going to go sample some of his signature dishes. So now, how long have you, has your storefront been there on South Street?
The one on South Street's been there since November. We opened up on the 11th.
Okay.
And, you know, so far so good. We immediately both decided that we wanted it to mimic our home. We wanted you to walk in and feel that you were in our own kitchen. We wanted to make sure that when you came into the store, you felt that you were at home. You're free to rummage through what we have and lift up those freezers, or, you know, educate yourself about home cooking and organic cooking. They don't realize how much is available since it's such a small little mom and pop. But, you know, we use a lot of organic produce, and our products, since they're done by hand, we have the apple pies, which are done by hand. Even the crust is done by hand. We have the fresh granolas. We have soups. We also have a variety of display items, the roasted peppers, and the Brussels sprouts, and the broccoli rabe, and, you know, all kinds of medleys of vegetables that are there as well. Fresh mozzarella that we do by ourselves. So we have tried to maintain our store to match, you know, what it is, our vision of providing the healthiest possible products for our customers.
Right. Before that, you're doing the farmers markets, right?
Yes, we've been doing the local farmers markets. We have about 15 or so that we participate in, and we were invited.
Which towns?
We're in New Providence, is where we started naturally. We're in Summit, Milburn, Madison, down in Jersey City, Rutgers, Teaneck, Mendham.
Wow, so it keeps you very busy all summer long.
Yeah, all summer long, and a lot of the markets go until the end of November, some into December as well.
So Paula, what would you say are some of your most signature dishes?
Well, the eggplant rolantini is definitely the crowd favorite. You know, that's the one that put us in business, and people really are starting to appreciate how it's made, and they're enjoying it. So that's definitely a top. The vegetable lasagna is probably what keeps me in business. So, you know, I think that now people are a little bit more health conscious, and they're more appreciative of food that is done by hand, and it's really starting to catch on.
Tell me the story about the Italian grandma that came in that needed lasagna for her family.
She came in with a lasagna pan, and she said to him, you know, I've had your lasagna before, I just don't have time today. Believe I have all these things going on, my grandchildren are coming. Would you mind putting a lasagna together for me? And I'll be back later to pick it up. I'm going to pass it off as my own, you know, I'm not going to tell anybody. So, you know, he took a step back, and of course he said that he would, and it was a comical event, but it's one that started to trend.
I try to stay how natural and organic as possible, especially the organic.
Great.
I try to bring those two together with me. Every single dish that I try to put it together. It's the best tomato sauce, the best tomatoes you can buy.
So you buy the fresh tomatoes?
Yes.
Okay.
I buy the fresh tomato, put a little olive oil, garlic, and basil. The pastas, I replace the pasta with the eggplant. So
okay, so there's no pasta in it whatsoever?
No pasta. It's truly vegetarian and a great health choice. The The eggplant is light breaded, breaded
Okay.
in my own breading that I make in my place. And then I pour tomato sauce.
Okay.
And then I have a sliced zucchini and squash, which I buy from the local market or the farmer's market that participate or the organic. I blanch the broccoli. It'll be al dente, that way you still get all the vitamin and the vegetable over there.
Okay, so you don't overcook it like I would do.
And
Okay.
then chop them up small and put the other layer on the top. And I put a mushroom too.
Okay.
Slice mushroom, saute really gentle, a little bit olive oil, put another layer. And then I put the ricotta cheese.
Okay.
And then build another zucchini and cover it up with the eggplant again, mozzarella.
You're going to put this in the oven. You cook it for how long?
I'll cook for about 25 to 35 minutes.
Okay, and should I cover
At
it?
350, yeah, you should cover with the plastic first and then the aluminum on the top.
Wait, you put saran wrap on first?
Yes.
And then the foil? Isn't the saran wrap going to melt in the oven?
That's the trick. Doesn't let the cheese stick and aluminum.
Right,
that
because
I
the
put
cheese
on
always
top.
sticks to the foil.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know about you, but all this talk about food is making me hungry.
I agree.
Do you think that vegetable lasagna's done yet?
I think it is.
What do you think, Paolo? Is it done? Looks great.
Thank you for coming to visit our home, Cindy. We're so happy
Yeah.
you're
My
here at
pleasure.
the store.
Salute.
So good. Delicious.
Carmen Torciello owns Torbuilt Construction, which coincidentally is 2 doors away from Paolo's kitchen. Now, since I work as a designer and I choose paint colors for people, many times they will ask me for a recommendation for a good builder. Carmen is my man. Now, unfortunately, I learned the hard way that when you choose a builder who's the fast, easy, cheap way to go, sometimes that's not always a good idea. I had a really bad experience myself with a bad builder, so I want to be really sure now that I choose somebody that has the education and experience behind them that really knows what they're doing. So Carmen, he's my recommendation and he's my guy. So let's go take a ride and let's go visit Carmen. There he is. Hey Carmen, how are you?
Hi Cindy, how are you?
Good. This is Carmen Torciello. He's the owner of Torbuilt Construction out of New Providence, and Carmen is a certified green professional. And we're going to sit down and talk about going green.
Okay.
Going green is more about saving the environment, saving trees and saving on energy. But then there's another side of it where, when you're going green, you tend to use more man-made materials, which means more chemicals. So we also need to be conscious of chemicals in our environment, which are healthier for our bodies.
That's a good point. As far as building is concerned, going green means basically using environmental considerations when you're building to reduce our impact on the environment.
So Carmen, tell me a little bit about your experience as a builder.
Sure. Basically, I was born into this. My father was a mason, and my grandfather and my uncles were all builders and masons.
Right.
So naturally, I was introduced to it at an early age, and I enjoyed being around it. And in high school, with that interest, I took Woods class in architecture. And that coupled with the work experience in the field, I decided to pursue engineering. And upon graduation, I worked for a couple large firms. And then about 16 years ago, I started my own company.
I think you have some things to show us today, some examples of some green building materials. So Carmen, let's talk about some of the ways that we can go green.
So basically, lot design is your yard. Mulch promotes water conservation.
Right.
Shade trees, stormwater management, stuff like that. So then we want to consider resource efficiency. So a resource basically are your materials.
Okay.
So these are some of the materials that may be used in your home or addition. We want to get products that are obtained from wood that's from an environmentally responsible forest. So they plant trees, cut trees down, and they manage the resources.
Oh, that's good to know.
There's organizations, stewardship programs that monitor what these forests do. So the wood obtained for our cabinets, for our lumber, is all from these forests that are managed. so that they replenish what they cut down. But mainly the main important thing here is using recycled content. So for example, this would be a regular piece of wood that you're familiar with, a 2x10, and this is how you frame it.
Right.
And these are kind of alternatives to that.
And this looks like decking material.
Exactly, good call. So this is your decking material outside. Used to be wood, or now we have these materials that are made from PVC or recycled from fiber, wood fibers and things like that.
Okay.
A lot of these products are made from byproducts of other manufacturing. Now we want to talk about energy efficiency. So
okay.
Energy efficiency basically is the insulation. I'm sure you're familiar with the fiberglass insulation, the pink stuff. The green spin on it, though, is we obtain low formaldehyde material.
Okay.
So regular insulation might have more formaldehyde than others, and that's a bad carcinogen that we don't want floating around in our house. Hi-hats. Everybody has hi-hats.
Right.
Right. So conventionally, we might have used something like this. This is, what you see on the inside. It has a lot of holes, and you cannot have insulation touch this. Now, what we have is these other types of recessed lighting, which the insulation can touch.
Oh, okay.
And these are airtight. Water efficiency is no more than using water-conserving toilets, faucets, and shower heads. They're all use less water.
Okay.
The final thing is indoor air quality. And with indoor air quality, we want to use low VOC paints.
I know a little bit about that.
You do, I'm sure you do, being the Paint Diva.
So let's recap. What are the 5 guidelines that you would give our viewers?
So the 5 points were the lot design. So we talked about the outside, lot design. Resource efficiency, using materials that are recycled and we don't waste too many materials. So lot design, resource efficiency, energy efficiency, insulating, air tightness, water efficiency, and then lastly indoor air quality, which is pretty important too.
Okay, sounds good. So Carmen, I noticed you have a couple of bottles of wine over there with your Tour-Built logo. What do you say we, speaking of green, makes me think of green grapes.
Sounds good.
Let's have a glass of wine. Good.
Salud.
Salud. So I'm here today with our wine expert, David Wagner from Berkeley Wine in Berkeley Heights, and we're talking about going green, David, and organic. So I hear you have some organic wines to share with us today. What do we got?
Well, organic wines are very popular now because everybody's concerned about their health. There's often considerations of allergies for sulfites, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, those kinds of things. Now, it's important to understand that there are different levels of organic.
Right.
For instance, here's a bottle from Sicily. It is organic to the point that they're using organic inks in the paper on the label.
Okay.
Here's a bottle that is from the Beaujolais region of France, made from the Gamay grape, from a man named Michel Lapierre.
Okay.
And he is the father of the organic movement in that area. For the longest time, there were cheap Beaujolais Village, Beaujolais Nouveau, loaded with chemical fertilizers and pesticides. And because of the fruit-forward nature of the wine, they put a ton of sulfites in to retain that fresh fruit flavor. As you can see from the label, it's just grapes.
Very cute.
Squeezed into the mouth. And that's essentially what the wine is.
Okay.
Now, the extreme of that happens in Alsace, where they are practicing not only organic farming, but biodynamic farming. Really, the cornerstone of all of these are that they're very pure, very straightforward, and unadulterated. So oftentimes, they're much better. This is probably one of my favorites. This is a wine called Vinho Verde from the Minho area of Portugal. Very fresh, very clean, and very crisp. Great for warm weather. Great for light fare. Through that Minho area, the Minho River comes in. Some of the best seafood in all of Europe comes from that area.
So would this go well with seafood?
Shrimp dishes in particular, salads, light fare like that. It has a little frizzante, a little fizz in it, and that's natural. There's no carbonation added or anything like that. But in this, you should get not only that crispness, but grapefruit character, almost a little apple peel kind of note on it. And at the end, along with really, really refreshing acidity, you're going to get a touch of salinity, a touch of salty character on it from the limestone soil that it's grown in.
Very nice. Nice and light. Very good. Well, David, thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure.
While we're talking about green, I'd like to mention green paint. Benjamin Moore has the #1 selling low VOC paint on the market today. And you have a couple of options. The first one would be the Aura paint. Aura is the one that has the best coverage. It's 50% less VOCs. VOCs are volatile organic compounds. So it has 50% less chemicals, 50% less odor, but what's great about it is it's self-priming and has great coverage. If you've ever tried to paint red, you'll know that it probably took 3 to 4 coats. Not with the Aura paint, you'll get it done in 2 coats instead. A lot of the other colors you'll get done in 1 to 2 coats. The next option is the Natura. Natura, think of the word nature. It has 0 VOCs, 0 odor. So anyone who has chemical sensitivities, allergies, if they're expecting, a lot of expecting mommies come in and they want to use the Natura. If you're really just concerned about the environment, Natura is the way to go. 0 chemicals, 0 odor. Now what I want to mention is you want to think about the tint. It's not just the paint. Benjamin Moore is the only one that has the 0 VOC in the tinting process as well. So when you're thinking about color, what you really want to do is make sure that you use colors that were specifically made for these paints. Affinity color line is the colors that were made specifically for the Aura and the Natura. All of these colors that are available, if you'd like to sample, you have a couple options. One, you slide this drawer out and here's your little sample jars right here. And then your other option would be over here and you've got these large sheets that are available as well, and you don't even have to paint. You can take these big sheets and you can stick them right on the wall. So when you really want to go green, this is the way to go. Benjamin Moore. Now today for my Diva blog, I'd like to talk a little bit about paint colors while I'm here in the paint store, and I'd like to share with you some of my favorite shades of green. When looking for colors for kitchens and bedrooms, I like to use what I consider to be earthy greens. My favorite ones would be dried parsley, Nantucket breeze, and Harbor Town. For sage greens, a couple Pottery Barn favorites are silver sage, Saybrook sage, and Grecian green. When I'd like to do a very, very soft green, my favorite ones are gray cashmere and green tint. And then my favorite dark greens are going to be deep, earthy, olivey greens like Providence olive, rosemary sprig, and I am obsessed with Gloucester sage. Maureen Huntley is a life coach and she's an expert on health and nutrition. She also has a radio show called The Family Balancing Act. Now last year I read the book called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And there's also a video out, and it's sort of the antithesis to Super Size Me, where instead of eating fast food all day every day, this man was juicing and loading up on fruits and vegetables, and he got healthier instead of sicker. So when I sat down and I met with Maureen, I got quite an education, way too much to fit into this episode, but I would recommend that you look her up on her website or listen to her radio show to learn more about nutrition. Now, one of the things that she does is she works with women and mothers trying to balance their family life and trying to get their kids to eat more vegetables. And she encourages them to juice with the vegetables, but the response that she got from a lot of the moms was, it's just too time consuming, and they said to Maureen, can you do it for me? That began her new business. and Maureen formed Mo Green Juice, where she puts about 5 pounds of vegetables into this juicer and puts it into these adorable little mason jars with a handle. And right now she's selling them at the farmers markets. So let's go visit Maureen at her home and let's talk about Mo Green Juice. So I said we were going to talk about Mo Green Juice, and you're probably wondering what in the world is Mo Green Juice. We're going to get to that in a minute, but first we're going to meet Mo. Mo is actually Maureen Huntley. Maureen, tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm a holistic nutritional counselor, and I work mostly with moms, and I work with moms to work with their kids by getting mom healthy and aware prior to then working with her own family.
And then you also have a radio show.
I do indeed. The Family Balancing Act, which I live. But the truth is just to be able to go with the flow. And when I look at the scales of justice, really in the family, it's sort of questionable, but it's about going with the flow. And for me, it's starting with nutrition. I love waking people up with greens, and I really feel that that is the basis of our health, is to get our gut in balance with greens. So
you're going to take about 4 pounds of vegetables, and we're going to juice it into this jar.
Right into that jar.
Right? So the amount of nutrition that is in that is amazing. And we're at your home today, but you normally don't do this at home. Where do you do this?
No, I do this in a commercial kitchen called Hesperides.
You sell in the farmers market, so you get a lot of your vegetables from the local farmers, correct? And they're all organic. There's no pesticides, no chemicals.
Right.
Okay, so what do you say we go inside and let's make some juice?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Terrific.
So Maureen, I want to taste some juice.
Okay, girl.
Let's make
get some
juice.
Mo Green Juice.
Okay,
all right.
Great.
So today, what we're going to do is we're just going to make a very simple juice. The juices that I make and sell at the Ramsey Farmers Market and sell to local businesses here in the Bergen County area, and we're expanding, have 4 to 7 pounds of vegetation in them. There are 10 different types of juices that I have, and I have spinach, cabbage, and I run the gamut of all the different greens. But in them I also add apple, lemon, ginger to make it palatable. This is an angel juicer, and I love my angel juicer. It's a high-end juicer, and it's one that is promoted at the Hippocrates Institute in Florida. So we're going to start with some celery. It's actually very easy. Just goes right down in here. And what it does is here, you can see the juice is starting to be made here. The pulp goes right into that basket there. And as you can see, for that one stalk of juice, the one stalk of celery, there's just very little pulp. Okay. So you're not losing any fiber. It really pulls the fiber out and the enzymes out. Now we're going to throw in a piece of lemon, because that makes it gives a little flavor. It also helps it to hold its. It doesn't oxidize as fast. Okay, we'll throw in some parsley. Parsley isn't only for your breath, it's for your blood.
It's for your blood, okay.
Right, and actually any green is going to put your gut flora into proper pH balance. So we're just kind of mixing these up here a bit, and then I'll have you taste it. And I fully believe that when you start there in your gut, then you can move to things like cleaning out your home, cleaning out your friends, cleaning, the friends that don't work for you.
On Facebook.
The toxic things in your life that don't work. And it's amazing how many people, their lives change because of, but starting with doing juice is a very simple, easy way to do it. So let's get you some juice.
Divalicious. Since it's so fresh, how long does it last? If I buy it, how long can I keep it?
The way I seal it is that there's very little air hitting it when it is sealed. I use
mason jar, really.
Out of a mason jar, and it lasts about 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator or 2 to 4 months in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
As Americans, we need to get back to basics.
Right. Well, because the problem in America is everything has to be fast, 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 fast.
Right, so I'm trying to help it be fast, fast, fast in a healthy, healthy way.
That's great.
So.
Well, Maureen, we really learned a lot today about going green and being healthy inside our bodies. And I really appreciate you having us here today.
Oh, thank you so much.
My Diva pin for today's episode is the book that I mentioned earlier called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It's available as a book and as a video, and you can buy it online. So today, boy, did we go green. We talked about green building materials, green paint, green food, and even had a taste of green juice. I don't know about you, but I'm full. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You join us again another day for another Taste for Design.